what we're going to want to do is take that screen material, or if you have a screen, you have a little window screen. So say it's about 2 feet by 2 feet. We'll have the screen. It's got to be fairly rigid though. It can't be real floppy. On the back of it, we need like this foam board. It's white. It can't absorb water. That's the big thing. So it has to be not water absorbent. And that's going to go on the back. So this whole thing is rigid. We put the algae on it. We spread it out, and you need a plastic scraper. Home Depot. Paint scraper. You got a plastic. Yeah, cooking stores. Yeah, perfect. Yep. And you just sit there and you just scrape. Just scraping down. Okay. You're going to see the water's all going to trickle down. There will be some oil in the water that comes down. And you just spread it all out, and then it's going to dry. When it dries, it actually breaks off into like little algae chips. That's what they look like, little pages. It's going to break off into little algae chips. And then we have to weigh that. We want to know how much weight is going into the press. We want to know how much oil we get per weight. So we want to report all this stuff. Okay? And you want to kind of get a wet weight, somewhat wet weight. Get most of the water out. Yeah. We want to know all those numbers. All righty? I want to see the algae though.
A question to follow up on that is, for the foam backing board, does it have to be that, or can it be anything like a big piece of plastic, a rigid piece of plastic? On the back side, rigid. Anything that's
I think rigid plastic would work.
Yeah, I actually have a freelance.
Glass, for example. I was thinking like I have a raft.
Glass I don't like because it breaks and
that's water resistant.
I think it's like it's meant to like.
Yeah, plastic
It's like a heavy insulation foam.
About 5 more than 20
It's not that thick, and it's not.
if there's stuff at home we can collect and not go out and buy.
Right, that'd be good.
Throughout the.
Yeah, let's try that. Because it's not going to get poked by anything. It's just going to be scraped on. So if it's smooth, you're fine.
Because just based on like that top, the thing that's coming to my head is my daughter's red flyer sled turned upside down.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's the full length of this thing. I can put one end in the bottom, one at the top, and I got the full length.
That's perfect. Yeah, that'd be good. It's even conical. Yeah, different build like that. Which is good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good. All right, I like your bins. So then we'll collect from there. So then that liquid all will go into a container, let it settle out. You'll see some of the oil there. Then we have to. Then what? Previously though, you have to get moving on the scraper. You have to do that. Clock's ticking. November 6th is next one.
Yeah, it's only 2 days.
The clock's ticking. Because the stuff then is going to have to dry. You don't want to dry it in an oven. You could have a fan kind of blowing on it, but when it gets dry, it's going to go around. Yeah. You don't want it all in the room. So that has to get dry. Then you scrape it off the screen, and then you do more. Okay, it's not just another rate that it dries.
Maybe a heat lamp? Could a heat lamp work instead of another?
Yeah, heat lamp would work. That would be good. Yeah, that would work. You dry it up like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Are we heating it inside or?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
How long would it take?
That's what we're not sure of.
I think that's one of the reasons why he's saying
Monday,
we don't need to get started on it.
Maybe a couple
really
of hours, I think. A couple of hours to get a heat lamp on.
Yeah, I think I agree, yeah. But you want to get moving on it quick so we have an idea. So going like before Wednesday, we would want to know a rough idea of wet weight that went into the dry material, how much dry material do we have, save some wet stuff, have the dry stuff ready, have a press. I think you're going to be somewhere we're going to get a press.
Yeah.
The hydrolysis team be ready to go with the store-bought stuff to hydrolyze and try to good. Okay.
I have 5 seniors and 4 juniors. So the 4 juniors that I have are required to be part of this project next year when we recruit additional juniors for next year. So every year there's going to be some knowledge base that gets passed on to the next class as part of the growth process. Good.
These are really smartly designed with filters. That was really smart.
Thanks.
And you're sticking with fresh water. You're not going to go stay with fresh water.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That makes life infinitely easier, so stay with fresh water.
Yeah, there's a limit to what we can do right now. But absolutely.
There's, when you talk to botanists, they're kind of a pain in that person because everything has to be perfect. So they're like, well, what algae strain do you have? Because you got to feed it certain. That's like looking at 10 different students. This one wants a hamburger, but they're all going to eat, right? So we'll come up with a generic food so we can feed these things. You want to keep the nutrient level really, really high. You're using just the generic plant food?
That's what, yeah. And to be honest, I'm not even
good for now.
Right, and I don't. I've been putting it like once a day. It's like once in a while, you guys have, so I'm not even sure the timetable.
Whatever the directions say to feed, ignore it. Overfeed.
Okay.
Overfeed. That's what you want to do.
Okay.
The more nutrients, it's going to grow out of control. And that's the beauty of it. It really will grow out of control.
That's like the pond where they harvest this from.
Right.
Has, I mean,
She used to swim when she was a kid, and now you can't
Now
see
you
water.
can't.
Yeah.
Doesn't nitrogen really spark algae curve? Is it
Nitrogen, phosphates, yeah, they'll grow like
10,
crazy.
10, 10, with miracle grow.
I mean, that's what happens in coral reefs, and one big problem in coral reefs is called eutrophication. That's the process. But when nutrients get into in the coastal area in the coral reef, the animals live by photosynthesis. Right? So light, the sun comes up, the animal opens up. Now the animal's living by photosynthesis. So all the nutrients come in, these microalgae just bloom like crazy. They cover the animal. The animal can't do photosynthesis anymore. The animal, if it can't do photosynthesis, it doesn't generate oxygen. So you start getting necrotic tissue, the animal dies. But these things, once you get them growing, good luck trying to stop them. They grow like crazy. And a greenhouse motif would really be nice because you can, I mean, there's so many things you can think of there. Vertical farming, there's so many things you can do there. You can even, collection vessels that will scrape, collect, and just dump it in the trough. It's gonna be nasty. You pick your least favorite student about harvesting. What else I want to tell you guys? I haven't seen any data on the dark. There's some people who do this in the dark, so they're not using light. So what you have to do then is, since you don't have photosynthesis, you have to supplement it, that sugar for the system to get the animal plant to do what you want it to do. I haven't read anything about turnover yields, like how much diesel they get versus conventional ways, but I'll try to get that data. It's got to be out there.
So wait, they use sugar to help it grow?
Yeah, you can add sugars to these systems. It's not going to hurt anything. It would accelerate the growth. You can also bubble carbon dioxide if you had a carbon dioxide tank.
So if these guys don't finish their monster drink, we can just dump it in?
Monster drink, right?
Nice.
Yeah, because it's producing its own sugar right now. If we just dump sugar into there when it's not
Okay, I was
producing it,
gonna
it'll
say.
still help.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. I don't
Especially
know.
not, especially not
Yeah,
the
sugar.
So you're saying if we dump the monster in, it'll grow faster because of the
Because of
caffeine?
monster.
Yeah.
The caffeine, did you say?
What?
We're joking.
Sugar.
We're on
Stop
joking.
that.
Revenge is joking mode, so yeah, caffeine's not a good thing.
Algae will get right there, it won't be able to sleep.
It'll run out of the room. Okay. Yeah, so I would, honestly, every one of these, I don't know, why is this one so low?
Was that a different specimen?
Yeah, are these
Or
all the
no,
same?
this was the
They're all the
one.
same. I don't think we put
in
it.
pond at least.
Actually, this one had less, this one's been growing. We can actually see that because I knew this one was a real clear one with just a little growth on the top, right? There's that one bottle just had the tiniest bit of growth right here.
Yeah.
So none of these have been harvested?
No.
No.
This is,
Because these, all three are very similar, that's the obvious.
So we're trying to get them populated for Wednesday night. So we're hoping to have a population.
I would get all this out of here now and let it keep growing for Wednesday night and show them. That's definitely what I would do. So scrape all these out, just get like, how are you getting them out of there? A net, get like a little.
I do have a fish
Just
net
get right
over
back
there.
there.
Yeah, just a fish net, get it all out, get a beaker, put it in there, save it.
Well, that was the convenience of having a top like that. The idea for it that we could easily just scoop in and then put it back on.
That's really smart. That's perfect, yeah, do that.
Yeah, the original design, after we did it, I didn't really like that much, so we're just going inverted instead.
Are we gonna add any to the inverted ones, or because you know how you just did that?
Yes, we can,
We put a handle on it.
Handle, yeah.
but,
But I mean,
No,
like
she
something
means
around
the-
the
Yeah, I
end,
know,
so it
okay.
doesn't
We said-
fall.
again, maybe another strip. This is just an old bicycle tire, or two.
Okay.
So same idea.
maybe we could also just snip off a piece of plastic and just bend it over.
Everything's been uploaded.
Okay, good. You know what you might want to do too, do you have a team that does like research, like is looking for information? Anyone on the team specifically doing that?
For this project?
Yeah.
Not this year, but last year they used to.
All right. I'll start looking too. I want to know if there's any study out there where someone has looked at production versus single strain of algae versus production with multiple strains.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You're going to still get it. They're all going to be growing. You're going to compete each other to grow, but they all should grow. You're giving competition is only if there's a limited food source. If you have plenty of food, they're all going to grow.
So it's probably true.
Unless somebody encroaches another one and kills it. So they all should grow. So I'd be curious to know if there's a difference in production. Maybe it's better to have. That would be great. Then you just go to your, where is it? You go swimming again, and you goes get more material. You know, wait till
Only
next
gonna get
fall.
colder.
Remember the time
Yeah.
you fell
So
in
this
Should there's
is
some
like-
Next time, I'm going all the way in.
I'm gonna go out to the middle.
Yeah,
Be
they'll do
careful,
that.
don't
Calorpas do that.
Yeah,
That's
don't-
where they
don't get
come
hyped.
from.
We don't want you to be feeding the
West
algae.
I
Coast.
don't know who's gonna go get me, like, just pass out.
Right, yeah.
No, it's a.
But in the scenario we want to do, the natural products that they're secreting, we're not concerned with. We want the oils for combustion. So they're all going to be preparing those.
What do we do?
That's good stuff. That's oil, very oil, yeah, that's,
That's
you
the
want
stuff
that
we
out.
want?
Is
You want
that,
all of that.
Wait, what if the
What-
thing
what was
we
the comment?
dumped out?
What do we do with the stuff that falls to the bottom?
I thought it
Is
was.
that brown
That's,
one?
yeah, that's heavy, yeah. You want
I
it
know.
more-
Yeah,
So
we're
that's,
so
so the
confused.
stuff, so the stuff that's at the
We want
bottom,
to-
stuff at the
Well,
bottom?
Remember
the stuff
that
we- that
brown
one-
one? That was probably
the one we threw out was
Yeah.
just, we would have lost the room if we let it keep going. It was, it was,
So
Water turned brown. It was
How that, you know, bad?
yeah.
It
It was,
like made you wanna.
yeah.
If it smells that bad, that means if it smells, see, there's bad, and then bad. Bad is like zombie bad. That means there's decaying,
That's
organic,
what that one was,
meat
yeah.
matter, like that's bugs.
The water was like
Yeah, you know
brown.
bugs,
There's creatures in there.
right, so a dead snail, you ever smell a dead snail? That's zombie bad.
Definitely.
And then there's bad is just algae bad, you know,
Okay.
that's the good bad.
Well, when you get around to, I'm gonna show you this video, we know we have like, some critters in there. One of my favorite parts when she's actually filling this reactor.
Yeah, that's why that smells so bad. You don't want dead creatures.
That wasn't the bucket over there that you know, that you had actually some of the things that.
Oh, listen, move behind him a little more.
Oh, good, I was gonna be
When you moved, I just got away.
Yeah, I can smell.
But they just started appearing.
We're building on our core reef, we're building a refugium right now, but that's a whole different idea. We're gonna have a whole assortment of macroalgae in there and microalgae, and they grow so quickly that, so that's the purpose of that. So that's how we're using it. You want your fresh water, so you wouldn't be able to use any of that anyways. Good, yeah, this is great. So that's one thing I would definitely do. Harvest this, get this out, let it sit, dry it. You want to dry that. Keep it. Judgment call. Keep it separate or add it all together.
Oh, from the stuff we
From
had
that
in here?
stuff.
I would like to probably keep it separate just because
It may
we have done something different to it.
That's the homegrown.
Yeah, let's
This-
do.
You know, we have added our own version of nutrients in here, whatever that plant food is. So
Yeah, let's
at least for a few days.
Yeah, let's keep it separate. Good. And this is nice. It actually's got a nice color, consistent color. Now you're the bug lady, so bug lady would want to come over here. This is the.
In here.
You
Bug lady.
You like the bugs, right? You like the little buggies?
No,
Oh,
no.
she's the one that screams for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had it backwards.
Do you want
Sorry.
someone to put their hand out?
Oh, this looks good.
Here.
Yeah, I was just talking about things in there.
This is good stuff.
So what is it?
So what you want to do, you want to get in here though.
You want some gloves or?
Have you guys tasted it yet?
I'm very
joke.
inclined
Don't
to.
But you can eat it. A lot of algae are even used in Chinese
See, I would have done it for
rolls,
$20.
like dumplings and stuff.
Really, seriously?
You don't want to know what's in a Chinese restaurant.
I don't.
How thick is it? Is this watery or is this?
It's just pretty much. It was
Just
already.
stick your hand in there. It's like sand lake consistency. See, I gathered all that with
Oh, this is great.
when we went to the pond, I actually took the pond skimmer and I would just get the top layer of it. I
you see the movie
wasn't getting
Exorcist?
any water.
Yeah.
Probably for
I'll
good
stop
reasons.
This is great. Wow, that smells.
Do you want me to get you a big towel?
Yes, thanks.
You see all the little black things in there I was talking about?
Yeah.
Steph, do you want to get
I'm
him
not
a
entirely
paper
sure.
towel?
Okay, I hate to say this, but you know what we need to do? Yeah. All right. This stuff, you're gonna need a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
You need a netting material a little bit bigger than that. Not a cheesecloth, but some kind of netting material.
Okay.
Then you want this. You basically want to get all the buggies out of there. You want just this stuff, this nice, see this really nice green?
Yeah.
That's what you want. I know it stinks, but that's fine. So you want all this and all the nasty buggy things we kind of want out, right? And then if you just hit this with water, it'll get some of the stinky out. But once it dries, the smell's going to go away. Okay. Is this as good as this?
No,
This
this
is
is
more
more water.
This is more water. How deep is this?
Oh, it's like water.
Yeah, it's a lot of, and there's a lot of
Yeah, right.
some other stuff in there.
That's good. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Is that a bad,
No, that's
or
a-
bad?
This is bad
That's
with
bad
a little
good.
zombie.
Okay.
A little zombie.
Alright.
But the zombie in this is because of the buggies. They're dying.
Well, that's
Get rid of
okay.
all.
So you got to get the bugs out of there. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, think about that. We crush a bug, you press a bug, what happens? You press the bug. So you press down, be this thing.
Protein.
Yeah, it's not gonna, right, that's not
Try
gonna affect
breaking
it.
down.
It'll wash out. So in the grand scheme of things, what we wanna, that night, you wanna have the nice, bright, green, clean stuff. Yeah, that smells. We're not going anywhere, are we? Not with me, I guess. I'll watch that. So you want to get them out of there, yeah. You want to kind of clean it up a little bit. It'll smell a lot better next week,
Okay.
okay? We'll have you in charge of.
I think that's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the nice things about the camera, when they're taking pictures, it's not smelling, they won't know
Oh,
how it's.
television.
So don't act just like it has no.
Should we do like that 4D thing where like we get like little scratch cards?
Ew.
Yeah, that is nasty. But it's good, it's nasty in a good way. That's great, that's a lot of gnats, you have a lot of gnats. That's really
Well,
good.
how many times did you?
I spent, I think, maybe,
The whole
how long
time we were there.
we went there for
A
maybe like
picture of
an hour, or,
an hour.
we were there for an hour, the entire time I was just taking that pond skimmer and getting just the very, very top layer off of the entire pond. I circled the
That's
entire
great.
pond just doing that
Yeah.
for a very long time.
So the order of events is get as many of the bugs out as you can. Okay, I'll get a pair of tweezers, we'll give them these two, and just let them pick them out. It'll probably take them 2-3 days.
Just like monkeys.
Right. Little monkeys, just, don't eat them. And then once they get all that out, then I would try to turn it so you can strain it, get most of the water out. Don't ever throw any water away. It's pretty similar. And then you want a wet weight. So a wet weight is it's like pudding, like just like a glue, like that's your wet weight. So get a wet weight or weigh this. Then when we get it all out of there and you dry it, reweigh that, and you'll know how much you have. Okay? Then you want to get it on your screen. That's the hard work. You have a lot to do between now and next week. So you got to get that done, and then a lot of it's scrape it. You want to scrape it to get most of the water out and let it dry. That's the only thing I'm not liking about a small screen. Big screen would be good surface area, but the heat light idea is really smart. Heat light idea, very smart idea. So you're going to scrape, heat light, minutes it's dry, you scrape it off, it goes into a container, more, heat light, working shifts, get it dry. So it's a whole little system. So you use a density stick to get the density levels of the culture. Maybe I'll bring that up Wednesday. I've got around a whole list of things I want to bring. We'll bring that up and then you can check that. You can check the densities of each one. You'll see that they're different. And you obviously want the highest density. That's the player. That's the nutrients that you want to use to grow out.
Because I really didn't have a good way in my head at this point of how to quantify the growth.
Density stick.
Especially if it was something like this,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
It's that simple, this density?
Yeah, that's good. And this is on 24/7? I would turn it off.
The air is on 24/7, but the
The
light.
vents are turning off.
All right, good. Whatever you've been doing, then keep doing. Because you want to know your photo period.
Yeah.
Later on, you can just go 24/7. Very nice. Really good. This is really.
Does the photo period doesn't really matter as much with algae?
Algae want light. They want to grow. So depending on the systems you build, like I don't want algae in the coral reef. So when the lights are on the reef, that's when algae could potentially be growing. So the refugium that's going to have all the macroalgae, and the lights will go on there because photosynthesis is good, generates oxygen. So I'll do a reverse photo period. So when the lights in the big system go down, the blue lights, and then when the moon lights come on, that's when the refugium will kick on. So now you're getting more oxygen in the system. See? But if you just kept that running 24/7, then the algae go nuts because they want light. They just shut down at night. Very good. This really is. Now, you're moving things, or smelly, is basically a prototype. So that's going to be walk through the procedure to get the oil, and then you're going to quantify it with your stuff.
Okay.
Okay? Well, we identified it. There's got to be a bonus to that. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
Or you just use like a pool chemical test. Like the people that test the pool chemicals, make sure your pool's good, they can tell you what algae growth's in there too. I'm not sure about specific strains, but
They're not going to
they can
tell
tell
you
you
if there's
They'll
any.
tell you if
What we
there's
could
not.
actually do is we could get one of the microscopes from up there, and we could bring one in, we could like use one of the field guides, like an algae field guide, that it gives you a list of characteristics.
Yes, that's what you want to
do.
do. Because you can narrow it
Still will
down.
have fun with that.
It's a northeast, it's a freshwater pond algae. You're
Narrows it
going to
down.
narrow
Yeah.
down this,
And
it'll be
once we
like,
look at it, we can get certain characteristics about the
and we'll figure out what it is, yeah. And then you want to get it ultra pure, really get one strain and then grow it. But we got to get somebody going on that. Maybe I'll do that for you. And let's find out, is that important? If not,
Yep.
Who cares? We find out, we go swimming again, grab the stuff, you might have a few of them. I would bet money that in a pond, there's one dominant, one growing.
Couldn't we
In the
call
wild, that would make sense.
I like microscopes
Yeah.
and stuff, so I can do that.
You'll be the microscope.
Could we call
That's the fifth time you said microscope,
Yeah.
so she's gonna be in charge of the microscope.
Could we call it Penn State agriculture guys that actually tell you like what?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and that means we have to go out there and maybe go to a game. So that's a good road trip. So, yes, they actually would be a big help. I think Penn State would do that. I have a friend there, Sanjay, is in the engineering department, so we could do that. We could easily hook up with Sanjay. Yeah, that'd be good. I wonder if he's free.